morning, kind of like a red flare, if you will. Church is about to start in 3 minutes.
Hey, I found that verse I was telling you about that I think would be perfect for this morning.
Nay, doing the service countdown, trying to get everybody ready for church.
Oh, sorry everybody. Hang on just a second. No, I really would like to read this passage.
You hang on. I'm trying to equip them and empower them to be ready for church. All right. Hey, with that, it's time to finish up the coffee and go ahead and let's guzzle down some of those donuts. All right. Coffee, donuts. I got a donut. Don't mind if I do. All right. And go ahead and finish up conversations. Okay. Any type of conversation that you have need to get done. All right.
Nobody understands what you're saying.
There you go.
No,
there you go.
no, they
there
don't.
You go.
It makes no
also,
sense.
breath mint. If you got a breath mint, take it now so you can talk to people. Maybe they're visitors. You don't know, right?
What?
Breath mint. Breath mint.
No, I don't know what you said, but here, you need one of these. Now, back to this, okay?
Before that, this. All the Generation X, Y, and Zers, get out those Bible apps.
Oh, or just do what the greatest generation did and actually bring a Bible to church. Just saying. Which brings me back to the Bible. The passage I
For
wanted to
that,
read was-
I thought, though, we could do a little trivia. While we're all just sitting here wasting some time, I did some trivia on my little iPad here.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do.
Okay,
here.
okay. I do love trivia.
Okay,
go.
all right.
Okay,
See
go.
if you know the answer to this question. Here we go.
Wait, that's your question?
That's my question.
That is a Bush League question.
What? No, it's
That
a
is
good.
pathetic.
What?
Oh, here, look, trade me. Okay, if you want a real good question, try this one
Did you just make that up on the spot?
on. The answer is hunting license. Hunting license.
The answer to my question was 26. There are 26 letters in the German alphabet.
And nobody cares because that's a pathetic trivia question.
a
Here's
great
another
one.
one. Try this one.
That's not even a question.
I know. But can you imagine when the pastor walks in and everybody's trying to lick their elbows?
No.
Finish your coffee. Finish your coffee. Here. Okay, now it's time for what I like to call Bible trivia. Answer that question, friends.
Hey, friend. You said you had some scripture, and before time runs out, this may be a really good time for you to share the scripture that you had. Before time runs out, did you want to
What?
share some of your scripture?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Because we don't want time to run out, do we?
Nope.
No.
Where was that?
Because, there's only so many seconds left.
Did you stop talking?
Right,
Okay?
I'm just
You're
trying
distracting me.
I thought you'd have it memorized by now.
Quit talking, okay? I'm trying to find it. I forgot where it was,
Okay.
and I'm gonna find it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was in.
Find it.
Oh,
See what you
found
got.
it. Got it. Okay.
Time's up.
No.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing this morning? What a beautiful day the Lord has made today. Like, we're just getting into that nice, it's almost fall weather, like hoodies and campfires, and yeah, I can't wait. Pumpkins, yeah. Pumpkin spice latte. Sign me up. All right. Without further ado, let's worship. When I lose my way and I forget my name, remind me who I am. In the mirror all I see is who I don't want to be. Remind me who I am. In the loneliest place. My heart is like a stone, and I'm running far from home. Remind me who I am. I can't receive your love, afraid I'll never be enough. Remind me who I am. If I'm your beloved, can you help me believe it? Tell me one I'm the one you love. That will be enough. I'm the one you love. I'm the one you love. I'm the one you love. That will be enough. I'm the one you love. Oh, tell me once again who I am to you, who I am to you. Oh, tell me as I forget who I am to you. I belong to you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship his holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship his holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship his holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come. Still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship his holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship your holy name. I worship your holy name. Lord, I worship your holy name.
Speak over the offering today. I was led to God Our Provider in Bible.org by Pastor Stephen Cole. Our bodies and our finances are only two areas, but pick any area of life that you wish, and the conclusions are the same. You are weak, vulnerable, and needy. Emotionally, maybe you're doing great today, But tomorrow, a series of tragedies could hit you as they hit Job, and you would be shattered. Nothing in this life is a sure basis for security except for God. He designed it that way so that we would be driven to trust in Him for every need. But in spite of the obvious truth of this, we madly scramble to find our security in other ways, in other things. The irony is, when we see ourselves as God sees us, recognizing our desperate need for Him and cry out to Him, He is ready to flood us with His abundant blessings. As Mary acknowledged, He has filled the hungry with good things and sent away the rich empty-handed. When we come hungry to God, He fills us. When we think we're rich and don't need God, He sends us away empty-handed. This is great news, that the only requirement for receiving God's abundant blessing is to come to Him as a desperate, needy sinner and ask for mercy. He delights to provide for those who rely on Him. God, who has provided everything for our salvation through Jesus Christ, through Him will also provide all that we need to live for His glory. Let us pray. It's from Hebrews 13:20 through 21. Now may the God of peace, who through the blood of the eternal covenant brought back from the dead our Lord Jesus, that great shepherd of the sheep, equip you with everything good for doing His will, and may He work in us what is pleasing to Him through Jesus Christ, to whom be the glory forever and ever. Amen. There are many ways to give. You can give in the boxes at the front and back of the sanctuary as you come and go. You can give online, and you can go to the website also to give. Thank you.
Are you hurting and broken within? Overwhelmed by the weight of sin? Jesus is calling. Have you come to the end of yourself? Do you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Leave behind your regrets and mistakes. Come today, there's no reason to wait. Jesus is calling. Bring your sorrows and trade them for joy. From the ashes a new life is born. Jesus is calling. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, what a Savior. Isn't he wonderful? Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Bow down before him, for he is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Oh, what a Savior. Isn't he wonderful? Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Bow down before him, for he is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Bear your cross as you wait for the crown. Tell the world of the treasure you found.
Man, I got to get better at that myself. You know, God and his love for us is such a treasure. It's such a treasure to me. It's such a treasure to my life. It's amazing that, you know, the one who created all things loves me. It's just mind-boggling. It's crazy. And you know, that last line there, tell the world of the treasure that you found. You know, show them, love on them, love on one another, love on the people around you. Like, God is just so amazing. I know I'm just kind of talking right now, but you know, it's God, we love you. We love you. I don't know what else to say. It's just amen.
Amen. Amen. Good morning, Joy Church. And welcome to those of you who are with us for the first time. Today, we're happy that you decided to spend your Sunday morning with us. If you are here for the first time, there's this Connect card in the seat back pocket that's in front of you. And if you would fill that out and take it to our Connection Hub, the wonderful person there will have a lovely gift for you. There's many options, so take a look at what might be there. So we have some great learning opportunities coming up for all of us in the next few weeks. The very first one is this coming Saturday. Ladies, that's not for all. This one's not for all of us, but I'll get to those. Ladies, you have the Priscilla Shire simulcast here on Saturday morning. It is $20, and you can sign up still today out in the foyer. It'll be a wholehearted teaching to inspire and challenge you to step into God's plan for your life. There'll be powerful worship and fellowship with other ladies, maybe not even from Joy Church. We'll have to see who comes. And I'm certain that the early church didn't worry about whether or not the simulcast would work or not. They just had the cool things of like, being beamed from one place to another, right? Or the Holy Spirit showing up. But we'll deal with simulcasts too. So it's great that we have that kind of technology, so we should be thankful for it. So on October 3rd, 10-3, that's the date. Do you know what 10-3 is in CB language? Everybody knows what 10-4 is, right? That's like affirmative, I got it. 10-3 means stop transmitting or be quiet. That was pretty cool. Didn't know that until this morning. But so 10-3, you should stop transmitting all that stuff that's going on in your brain and show up here on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. for a Bible study. So we have men's and ladies' Bible studies. The cost is $20. They're 6 weeks long. And if you've never participated in a Bible study before, these are truly for everybody. It's a great opportunity to meet other people. So if you want to go and the cost might be holding you back, let us know, and we'll make sure you can be there anyway. And then saving the best for last, October 23rd, 10-23, there is no CB language for that one. So I looked, but I couldn't find one. But that's our marriage conference, Dream Again Marriage Conference. So if you've been married for 6 months or you've been married for 60 years, you'll want to attend. Don't settle for an ordinary marriage. Invest and make it extraordinary. This is also $20 per couple, which is an even better deal than Bible study. Just saying, because I can do math. And lunch is included. So I was thinking, where else can you spend all day with your spouse, have a great meal, and spend only $20, and come away with way more than you walked in with? I figure it's the deal of the century. So you should be here. So you've heard enough from me. So now it's community time. Be sure you're back in less than 5 minutes because we have the end of the message, the series, the relationship goals, and Kathy's going to be talking about covenant keeping. So go grab a cup of coffee, say hello to somebody you don't know. Kids, you are dismissed to J Kids, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Many of you can relate to one of those things on that video. It cracks me up every single time. Well, welcome this morning to our last message in this series, Relationship Goals. Who kicked the devil out this week after last week's message? Yeah, let's hear some of that. I hope you did. And as couples, I hope that you have been, either you began to pray together. If you've never done that before, I hope that you've begun to pray together. And if you were already praying together, you've kind of just bumped that up and realized what a priority you need to make it in your life. Those of you who are married, how many of you married someone that is really opposite of you? Yeah. It's interesting to me how when we're dating, opposites tend to attract, right? They do. But then you get married and opposites tend to attack. Think about it, and have you noticed what's cute and adorable when you're dating becomes really obnoxious when you're married? It's kind of like chewing ice that Mike brought up last week. I don't remember him saying anything about that until probably years into our marriage. Maybe it took him that long to be brave enough to say that it bothered him. And hey, before we get going, I just feel like giving a gift away today. So I want to see who has been married the shortest amount of time. The shortest. So has anybody been married less than 1 year? Raise your hand. Less than 1 year. 1 year. You're not married. How about, let me rephrase that. Anybody that is married that has been married less than 1 year, less than 2 years. 2 years, come on down. This is for you, yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Congratulations. That's for you. And look, aren't they cute? They have the same shirts all the time. That's so awesome. It was cute before they got married, and it's not obnoxious. So there you go. Sometimes, though, there are things, and we're like, oh, like, I just love him. He's so great. He's so just, like, laid back. And then you get married, and you're like, could you take some initiative? Could you get off the couch? Could you go find a job? Some of us, when it comes to money, like we're a saver, right? And then some of us are like, saving? What is that? Like, we're just going to spend. Opposites. Some of us are on time. We're very, very punctual. Others, not so much. And I do find that that tends to be something that there's two people and one is punctual, one is not. Like it just seems to be that that's how we balance each other out, maybe. Sometimes we're just different, right? We get married, opposites attract, we're different. Some of us are organized, everything has its place, and we cannot tolerate piles of clothes in our bedrooms that just don't have a place for them, just saying. Clothes don't belong on the floor in piles in my world. Some of you, though, maybe you're a little more creative and you're like, well, it doesn't matter, wherever. We'll put red over here and orange over here, and we'll just make our room very colorful. It's okay. It's okay. One day, though, you get married and you realize, like, why are we struggling so much? I never thought we would end up in this place, and the things that I loved about you, now they really drive me crazy. I hope that we all have relationship goals. And as followers of Jesus, we should have goals that are different than normal. And if you've been with us for the last few weeks, I'm just going to remind you of those goals, and then we're going to say them together. So first of all, the goals are to be Christ-centered in all that we do. All that we do. Being Christ-centered is different than just calling ourselves Christian. It takes effort to follow Jesus and to become Christ-centered. So we're Christ-centered, we're mission-driven, we're devil-kicking, and we're covenant-keeping. You got it? Now, remember last week, and you guys didn't do so well. So we want to show Mike up, or maybe show him that I'm up here, and let's do a good job with it, right? What are we? We're Christ-centered, mission-driven, devil-kicking, and covenant-keeping. Yeah, I would say that's better than last week. Good job. Today, I want to talk about covenant-keeping. Covenant-keeping, it's really something that is extremely important to me personally. Mike and I, some of you know this, we were both married previously, and I was married for almost 10 years. It's been 22 years, next Saturday, 22 years that Mike and I have been married and that we've been working on these goals. Yeah, so we work on being Christ-centered and mission-driven and devil-kicking, but I would say covenant-keeping, we don't work a whole lot on that. We just are. We just are. It's not an option for us to do otherwise. And when I got married previously, it really wasn't an option for me then either. But it happened. I got married and I thought that it was forever. And I wanted to be covenant keeping. And maybe some of you can relate to that. I want you to know today that I understand the pain of divorce. I understand it. It's a loss of a dream for many of us. It was devastating to me. And to be 100% honest with all of you, I didn't have a good marriage. It was filled with pain and abuse and lots of hard things. But it was still so difficult for me to let go of it because of breaking the covenant. And I say that, and I don't want you to misunderstand me because I'm not telling anybody that is in a abusive relationship that they should stay in that abusive relationship. You need to be away and be safe. But if you look around our world today, you'll see that covenant keeping is really not common. It's not common today. And so I want to talk about what really is it? What is covenant keeping? What does it mean? And how do we live that out? How do we live it out? And we're going to start in Matthew today, chapter 19. And I'm looking at the NIV translation, and I pulled out this Bible, and since we're speaking about relationship goals, I happened to open to the front page, and it says, presented to Kathy by Mike on Valentine's Day 2004. So men, if you're looking for a Valentine's Day present for your wife, give her a Bible and then write in it so that she will always remember that you were the one that gave her that Bible. Yeah, Mike said he didn't write in it. He had found somebody that has really nice handwriting to write it for him. So we're in Matthew chapter 19, verse 3. Some Pharisees came to him to test him. They asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any and every reason?" "Haven't you read," he replied, "that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female and said, 'For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and will be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let man not separate.'" When you read it at the beginning, I think, like some Pharisees came to Jesus to test him. They asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any and every reason?" It sounds like they were looking for a loophole in their marriages. In the past couple weeks, we've looked at the truth that our God unites. Our God unites, and what God unites, our spiritual enemy, the devil, he schemes to divide. And today we're asking, what does it mean to be covenant keeping in our relationships? And before we dive into that truth, I want to talk about 3 different approaches people have these days to marriage. You'll see them. You'll relate to them. You'll see them all around you. You might even see it in your own. When we look around in culture, the relationships that we have. And the first one is what I call a casual approach to marriage. Marriage isn't that big a deal. It's really just a piece of paper. It's just a casual approach. And then there's a contractual approach, where marriage is a contract. We sign on the dotted line, and here's our agreement. So there's casual, there's contractual, and then the third is called covenantal, a covenantal approach. And this is the idea that marriage is a holy covenant established by God. So let's talk about these 3 things and unpack them. What is a casual approach to marriage? I said, well, marriage isn't that big a deal. I mean, I might get married. I might not. Might get married in the future sometime. Well, marriage is just a piece of paper anyway. It doesn't really matter. Whenever we have this casual approach to marriage, usually, generally, it leads to a casual approach to sex, right? If you look at someone with a casual approach to sex, they'd probably say something like, oh, as long as 2 adults consent, 2 adults agree, it's really nobody's business anyway, right? We're not hurting anyone. Sex feels pretty good, we might as well do it whenever we want, wherever we want, with whomever we want. Because guess what? It's really no big deal. Then the thinking tends to evolve. Since marriage isn't a big deal, and sex isn't that big of a deal, if we love someone, if we at least like them a lot, and if it's relatively convenient, we might as well move in together. Because after all, none of it matters all that much. It's interesting, I found some research that was done on living together, and this Barna study was done in 2017, and the reports are that 57% of people said they are either currently living together or they lived together with somebody in the past. It's really easy for people to say, well, we might as well move in together because it's convenient, we can save money, it makes sense, and we're testing things out. And I want to say right now, if that's you today and you're living together, my goal here is not to bring shame on anyone or anybody. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, to make you feel that way, to make you feel like, oh, I'm never going back to that church again. And here's how I'll do it. Because to be completely transparent, Mike and I lived together 3 months before we got married 22 years ago. So I'm not throwing stones here by all means. We definitely weren't Christ-centered then. It wasn't at all in our minds. But let's kind of just step back and call it what it is. You have, to some level, made a commitment to somebody, enough to share an address together. But if we talk it through, what it could end up meaning if we really think that marriage is no big deal. Let's say we're just going to live together. And let's just say we're going to do some things that are saved for married couples. You move in with somebody. You put your toothbrush in the little toothbrush holder on the counter. You put your clothes in a drawer. You share the bills, probably separately, probably not combining your income, but you share the bills. You buy the groceries, I'll pay for the electricity. Maybe you share food, but some people are very particular about sharing food, so you might not do that. And most likely, not always, but most likely, you share a bed together. If things don't work out, you take your toothbrush, you take your clothes, you take half of a sandwich, you break up and you go along and go about your life, and you find somebody else, and if things work out with them, you might move right in, and then weeks and months and years after doing this, maybe multiple times, you meet the perfect person, the perfect someone that's for you. The others, you're like, oh, I was just trying things out. They didn't work out. Now, with this person, all the love songs, it lines up on the radio, they make sense. You realize that this is finally the special someone that you want to settle down and get married. And so you do. Opposites attract, and then you get married. And then suddenly things get complicated. We do things like the video showed. She squeezes the toothpaste from the middle. She doesn't have her separate tube. She's using yours, and she's squeezing it from the middle. He leaves the toilet lid up. He doesn't put the ketchup back in the refrigerator in the right spot. And he can't hit the laundry basket with his clothes. And maybe she chews ice. When things get difficult, so many people today just say, let's break it off. Let's get divorced. Why is divorce so common? Because a lot of people played house. They pretended to be married. They practiced divorce on person after person after person. And so if marriage is only a piece of paper, if sex isn't a big deal, if we can live with multiple people as we go through life, why would we not end up divorced? Divorce can be a consequence of a casual approach to marriage, and a big consequence. Contractual approach. Most places, when you get married, you have to get a marriage license. And at the end, you put your signature on it, which I think is a good thing. But the problem with a contract is that if all marriage is based on is a contract, think about it. Contracts are based on mutual distrust. If we're going to enter into a deal with each other and we trust each other, we might shake on it. We might elbow bump during COVID. We might just give our word because we trust one another. But if I don't trust you, we're not shaking on it, I'm going to get you to sign on the dotted line. What do we know about contracts? Contracts are generally temporary, meaning until you pay up, until a certain amount of time expires. A contract is almost always to protect the rights of the person signing it and to limit their responsibility. It defines responsibility, it limits responsibilities. So if we enter into marriage and it's a contract, and we say it's a contract, then as long as you live up to the agreed upon terms, we have a deal. But if you don't live up to the agreed upon terms, let me give you some examples, meaning you call me a name, meaning you walk out when you're mad, meaning you betray me in a certain way or lie to me. Perhaps you don't make me happy. Then I feel like you broke the contract and I'm not bound to the contract and we're just going to go our separate ways. There's a casual approach to marriage and there's a contractual approach to marriage. As long as you're in and you live up to my expectations, we sign on the dotted line, we live up to the standards, the agreed upon terms, then we're in this together. Does anybody want to say ouch? Well, there's a third approach to marriage, covenantal. And a covenantal approach is not based on mutual distrust, and it's not temporary, and it's not motivated by selfish preservation, self-preservation. It's based on mutual commitment, unconditional commitment motivated by sacrificial love for the other person. Let's talk about what a covenant is, because most of us don't go around saying, hey, I'm entering into a covenant today. It's not a commonly used word, but it's pretty important. It's a spiritual word that I think we need to understand when we talk about marriage. The word covenant, it comes from an Old Testament Hebrew word. As a side note, Hebrew is the original language the Old Testament was written in. That's a good trivia question for you to have in your back pocket. The word covenant comes from the Hebrew word breath. And breath means a cutting. When you see a covenant established, there's always a shedding of blood. In the Old Testament, if two people were to enter into a covenant, there would often be a shedding of blood of a bull, or maybe 7 lambs. If two people were entering into a covenant with a bull, they would kill the bull and cut the bull in half. And I know this is gross, but just stick with me. This is what they do. There'd be half a bull and half a bull. And the two people would walk around the bull, both of them, 7 times. I'm not going to do that because I get dizzy easy. 7 times, and essentially saying what happened to the bull should happen to me if I don't live up to my oath. That's a covenant, a shedding of blood, giving my word that this is a commitment that I will stick by. If you go to or went to an Old Testament Hebrew wedding, what you would see is a powerful covenantal ceremony. And I just learned about this. But occasionally, what the priest would do is ask for the hand of both the bride and the groom. And the priest would occasionally take a knife and cut and nick the hand of the groom and the hand of the bride so that their blood would emerge from their hands, which was the shedding of blood. And then the priest would join the bride and the groom's hands together so that that blood would mingle. And it was signifying what Leviticus tells us in Leviticus 17:11, the life of the person is in the blood. We're exchanging life. And then the priest would bind their hands together, showing outwardly that the two are in the process of becoming one. And they would share their covenant vows before their family and friends and before God. And then what the couple would do is they would depart for a time. They would go to a place called a huppah, spelled Chuppah. Some people say chuppa, but I read that it was pronounced huppah. And the huppah was like the bridal suite. It was kind of like a honeymoon room. And the couple would leave the wedding ceremony, and while everyone else would wait while they went to the huppah, and the huppah, they would huppah. And in theory, the virgin groom would enter into the virgin bride, and there would be a shedding of blood. I bet you didn't expect a biology class in church today. But physically, they would become one flesh, representing what has happened in the spirit. And then once they sealed their holy covenant, they'd come back to the party that was waiting for them. Just imagine how awkward that would be. Back already? You know? What we need to understand and embrace and take to heart is the truth that marriage matters. Marriage matters to God, and marriage should matter to us. And so does the gift of lovemaking. It's a gift from a good God to his children. Hebrews 13, verse 4 says, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed should be kept pure. Marriage should be honored by all. So who does all mean? Who does all mean? All. In the Greek, all means all. So if you're a kid, you honor the covenant of marriage. If you're a teenager, even with raging hormones, you honor the covenant of marriage. If you're 22 and you're single, you still have your needs, you honor the covenant of marriage. If you're 31 and waiting and dating, you honor the covenant of marriage. If you're 47 and you're divorced, you honor the covenant of marriage. The marriage bed should be kept pure because marriage matters to God, so it should matter to us. Kind of on a rabbit trail here. Sometimes the way we talk about sex in church leads to shame, especially to our kids. So often we say, no, 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 don't do that, no. No sex, no sex, no sex. And then when they get married, we say, okay, yes, yes, yes. Now it's okay. Go on your honeymoon. And it's not all that easy for people to change their thought process. So maybe, just maybe, instead we should be telling our kids, wait. Wait. Something holy is coming. Something God-honoring is coming. Something special is coming. Something holy is coming. Just wait. And if you're out there right now and you're like, but I've just been saying yes, yes, yes right now in my life, and maybe you're starting to feel like this conviction, and you're like, I need to get out of this room. What do you do with it? What do you do with that? If you're not married, if you are married, but you're living a life that you know is displeasing to God, the good news, and really I would say the great news, is that Jesus makes us new. And what that means, in other words, is my past, your past is forgiven. It's transformed. Who I am is different, no matter what you've been doing in your past or what you even did last night or this morning. With the grace of Jesus, you can be forgiven. And you can decide from this moment forward, I will honor the covenant of marriage. If you're living together and you're not married, you can separate, even if that means just staying sexually apart, staying in different rooms in the same house. But if you're going to do that, I say, get married quick. Call me, I'll marry you. That's a hard place to be in. The marriage bed should be kept pure. If you're not dating anybody, if you're not married today, but you hope to be married someday and you decide, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. And then one day you will stand before God and before your closest family and friends, and the two will become one flesh, both spiritually and then physically. And you probably won't have a party where you go off and then we wait for you when you come back. You will honor God, and it's a story that no one can take away from you. No one can take it away from us. We waited, we honored God, and you seal the covenant, and it's holy and right. And let's just keep being real, because you can just keep doing your own thing. And then get married. And then it's just a piece of paper. And then you go on your honeymoon, and it's just another day at the office, business as usual, just another roll in the hay. The choice is yours. It's all of ours. You choose. What do you want to be? I want to choose to be Christ-centered. And there's a big difference between just calling myself a Christian and being centered, my life being centered around Christ. I want in our relationship to be mission-driven, to be united for a higher calling. And I want to kick out all the forces of darkness, devil kicking, so we can be covenant keeping. It's not a casual approach, and it's not a contract. It's so much more. This week I found a post, Jackie Hill Perry. It's a woman speaker, Christian speaker. She posted this, I think, on Instagram. It said, "When any relationship is framed as a result of two people falling in love, I cringe a bit. By it, most people don't mean to say what I'm hearing, but to me it can communicate the idea that love is all sentiment, affection, and emotion, and not also a choice. Faithfulness to anything is rarely ever based on a feeling. It's almost always a decision. Either I will be loyal or I won't." Which isn't to say that marital love doesn't involve feeling lovely, but it's much deeper than that. It's covenantal, her words. Love says, I will choose you even when I don't feel like it. I will love you when it's easy and when it's hard. I will love you in every circumstance and in every place providence places us. Simply put, I will love you because I love you. Think about that. As for me and my home, I will always choose you. Fill in the blank. I want to acknowledge that I know for some people it's incredibly complicated. Our marriage has been incredibly complicated and far, far from easy. I know that some of you have dealt with or are dealing with massive hurts, betrayals, pain, dysfunction, maybe even different levels of abuse. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge it's complicated. I can guarantee you that there's as many spiritual attacks on our life as there is on anyone else's. It's not easy. It's not easy for any of us. Being covenant keeping involves a lot of forgiveness, a lot of working through things that you don't feel like working through. Some things that you don't feel like you should have to work through. It's a whole lot of giving and a whole lot of loving as a choice. Years ago, Mike and I decided something, and we say it often, and that's our marriage is as good as we want it to be. Every word in that sentence is important. Our marriage is as good as we, not me, not him, but what we choose for it to be. And I will tell you that there are times that we don't feel like being loving. There are times when we don't feel like being forgiving. We don't feel like working on it. We don't feel like expressing love and being Christ-centered. But let me ask you this. How many other areas of our life can we not do what's important just because we don't feel like it? Just because you don't feel like it, you're not going to feed your child today. Just don't feel like it. I know my baby's hungry and crying, but I don't feel like feeding him today. Not in the mood. I don't feel like working. I'm just going to stay home for the next 3 months and not go to work. I just don't feel like it. Taxes. Oh, I don't want to pay those taxes. I'm not in the mood. So I'm just not going to do it. You just do it because it's right. It's right regardless of your feelings. We choose to be Christ-centered, mission-driven, devil-kicking, and covenant-keeping. If the worship team would please come. And here's a big problem that I think so many of us have that throws everything off. We have a misunderstanding of the character and nature of God. It's a root, because how we understand God relates to how we think about marriage. Many of us think that when we go to God, it's a casual deal with Him. I do whatever I want. It doesn't really matter. He's going to forgive me anyway. It's casual. And then some people, they think it's contractual. If I live up to my part, He'll live up to His part. And the problem is most of the time we don't live up to our part. And so we're afraid to go to Him for His because we don't feel like we're worthy of it. Because we contractually didn't do what we're supposed to do. Just like marriage, the truth about God is it's not casual and it's not contractual. It's covenantal in relationship. Old covenant. They would take a lamb once a year, sacrifice the lamb. The blood from the lamb would flow into a bucket. They'd take a sponge, dip it into the blood, and put the blood on the top of the doorpost and both sides of the doorpost. And when they would do that, the death angel would then pass by because the home was covered with the blood of the lamb. What's so amazing to think is as you put the blood on the top of the doorpost and on both sides, what would happen to the blood on the top? It would drip to the bottom. And there in the Old Testament, we have a foreshadowing of the New Testament cross of Jesus. In the Old Covenant, it was temporary. The way you live under the New Covenant, who is Jesus? Jesus is the Lamb of God who was slain. He shed His blood for the forgiveness of sins, the breath, the cutting, so that because of His gift, because of His resurrection, whoever calls upon Him will be forgiven, will be made new. It's the new covenant. And here's the best news. Even if we're faithless, Scripture says our God remains faithful, for He cannot disown Himself. It's not casual. It's not contractual. It's covenant. Our relationships, they will be as good as we choose for them to be. We choose. We choose. We choose to honor God, and He will always, always be faithful to us. And as we pray this morning, I'm going to ask Mike if he'll come up here with me. As we close out this series, we want to pray for you. Whether you're married or you're single. Can we all stand together? If you're married, grab the hand of your spouse. If you're single, this is between you and God. And I'm going to start by praying for the ladies, and then Mike's going to pray for you guys. Father God, I lift up all the single ladies in this room to you right now, God. Father, I ask that you would help them be Christ-centered. God, that you would increase their prayer life. God, that you would fill them with hope and with strength to honor marriage, to keep the marriage bed pure. Father, I pray that they would be able to keep their thoughts and their focus on you alone, Lord. And that when the time is right, you will bring that man walking beside them, doing the same thing, running hard after you, Lord. And for the married ladies, God, I just ask you today, Lord, that you would give them an increasing love and passion for their husbands. Father, that you would fill them with strength, that you would fill them with wisdom, with patience, and with love. God, that they would encourage, that they would speak life to their men, Lord, and not tear down. I pray, God, that you would show them every little and big thing that their husband does, that they can praise them and encourage them for. That your Holy Spirit would fill them with a love like you love, Lord. In Jesus' name.
Now I want to pray for the men, the guys. I want to pray that the Lord would give you the passion to choose to be Christ-centered, the passion to choose to be mission-driven, to be devil-kicking in your relationships, and covenant keepers. Whether you're single or married, that God would give you that passion by the power of the Holy Spirit in you to live those things out. God, that you would just continue with these men to grow them closer to you, Lord. And I pray, Father, that you would make us lovers of our wife, like you love the church. That you would make us to watch over our families like you watch over the church, Lord. That you are willing to lay down your life. Father, give that passion to our hearts as men. Lord, that we would be like Scripture says, that we would be administrators of your grace to our wives and our families, Lord. That you would show us how to be graceful, how to forgive. Father, I pray that you would show us and give us a passion to lead our wives, our families, our relationships, Lord, in a way that reflects you. Lord, that we would look into the Gospels and see how Jesus led, and that we would strive every day to lead like Jesus does. Not with a heavy hand, Lord, but with grace and mercy and determination and Christ-centered, mission-driven, devil-kicking, Lord, that we would keep our covenants in all of our relationships. Lord, I pray that these men in this church here today, Lord, would rise up and see the difference that we can make with you in our life. The power of the Holy Spirit in us can change our families, can change our communities, can change our workplaces. And Lord, that you would give us that vision of what can be about what will be, Lord, as we draw closer to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Now, would you pray a blessing over all the married couples?
Sure.
Thank you.
Lord Jesus, we thank you for marriage. We thank you for the covenant, Lord, that it's not just a contract and it's not just casual, but Lord, it's a covenant between the two, Lord. We pray that you would Lord, that you would show us how to be covenant keepers. Lord, that it would be our choice to love our spouse on the best days and on the worst days. And Lord, it would be our choice to see the good in our spouse, to call that out. And Lord Jesus, as all these couples here, Lord, as we finish up this little series about relationship goals, Lord, that you would not end it in our hearts, Lord, but that you would send us out with that vision, with that mission, being devil kickers.
Yes.
And Lord, that we would renew our covenant with one another. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. I know. You're done. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. We are going to have someone available to pray with you out here, right through these doors in the conference room. If you need prayer, any prayer, it doesn't have to be do with marriage. It can be for healing or things that you're going through. We'll have somebody to pray with you, to stand with you. And next week, Mike and I will be away because we are going to go celebrate and invest in our marriage, 22 years next Saturday. But Nate Perez is going to be here. He has a great word prepared. Jesus restores. You are not going to want to miss that. And then the following week, Bob McGann will be here with a message on generosity. So 2 great weeks coming up. We love you. We love you. There's nothing you can do about it. And the very, very best is yet to come. Amen. Amen.
Are you hurting, broken within, overwhelmed by the weight of your sin? Jesus is calling. Have you come to the end of yourself? Do you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling. Oh, come to the altar of Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Leave behind your regrets and mistakes.